think the lesson in the scriptures today, especially in Tobit, is the mystery of God's divine providence. Sometimes we just don't understand it, and we probably won't understand it until we get to heaven. But I love it when the scriptures have a very human situation that we can relate to. We see here in the reading from Tobit that, first of all, he was a very devoted and charitable man, a wonderful person. And then he's afflicted with blindness. When he falls asleep under a branch where there's birds and they drop their droppings on his eyes and he becomes blind. And his wife, Anna, was working and she was given a goat as a bonus. And when she brings it, and when Tobit hears about it, hears the goat bleeding in the house, he wants to know where it came from. It must have been stolen. And he's almost accusing her of taking a stolen goat. And she gets really upset with him. So he's angry at her, and now she's angry at him. And she's trying to tell him that she got it as a bonus and he won't believe her. And back and forth, and you can see how she says, so where are all your charitable deeds now? I can see your true character. And you can just hear the argument going on between the two of them. But the point is that Tobit remains faithful to God. He would have had every reason to turn away from God when all this trouble struck him, but he didn't. He remained faithful to God even though he didn't understand it. And he remained, probably was quite disturbed in mind because of the blindness that he was experiencing. And in accusing his wife of a stolen goat, he was a bit mixed up in not listening to her. But at the same time, we see that there's a mystery. How many times have we said, why is God letting this happen to me? I've said it in my life. I'm sure you've said it in yours. And yet we have to stop and realize that God's providence is a mystery, and that we have to be faithful to God in good times as well as in bad times. In both instances, he's calling us to stay close to him. We give to God what is his due. He loves us more than we can understand. And there's a mystery to this life in the world. We have to trust in God. In the gospel, we know the story so well about give to Caesar what is Caesar's. They're trying to trip him up and saying that he would be divided in giving to Caesar the taxes. Well, the Romans are going to get the taxes no matter what, even if it's by force. But with God, we give because we give freely. And that's what he's saying. He was accusing them of not living up to their religious duties. Instead of freely giving to God, they were trying to find ways around it. And so we too have to realize that our freedom is freedom for good, to give the Lord what is due, which is our fidelity and prayer and trust in him every day. So we thank God for his providence, even though we don't always understand it. We can be sure of one thing, that the Lord desires good for us and ultimately is leading us to the happiness of his kingdom. Let us stand and offer our prayers and petitions.